So what are we doing tonight? We're going to talk about massage chairs, and not the maybe average ones that you see at a shopping center or a strip mall or whatever, where you pay a couple bucks for, I guess, like a 10-minute massage with just rollers. But we're talking about really, really high-end massage chairs, and sort of the things you want to think about when you're thinking about buying one, and the big brands out there, the terminology of massage chairs, and why I bought this one, and sort of a review of this one, and the pros and cons. So hopefully, if you ever do think about getting one, this video may give you some helpful information. So the chair I'm sitting in is the Luraco iRobotics 7 Plus. It's one of the best massage chairs in the world on the market. It's made by a company called Luraco, and they're a engineering and parts company. They're based in Arlington, Texas, and they work with the U.S. military. They make actually parts for some of the Apache helicopters and things like that, and that's their main business. And then they sort of diverted into what they call the home and beauty market, of which this massage chair is an offshoot of that. This is their best chair. They consider it actually a medical device, and they've actually used it to treat soldiers and veterans in some of the VA hospitals in the Arlington, Texas area to great effect. So I'll get into a little bit later why I decided to buy this chair over all the other brands, and talk a little bit about some of the other brands and what's out there. I guess the first thing you want to ask yourself is, why would you want to have a massage chair, and what does a massage chair do? Well, to answer that question, people get these chairs because they either have some sort of maybe chronic health condition like back pain, neck pain, things like that, or they're engaged in a profession that creates these type of problems, or they just want to have a nice massage. Obviously, normally you would have to go out and pay for someone to do it. It's a bit of an investment. You have to pay for them, you have to make an appointment. Every person is a little bit different. If you have a favorite masseuse, you want to stick with him or her, and they're not available all the time. So it can be a little bit troublesome. And while a chair is never obviously going to be as good as a human being, it does have the advantage of being in your house. You can use it essentially whenever you want, at your convenience. And one of my friends told me probably a massage chair of this quality is better than a bad masseuse. I mean, it's not going to be a good masseuse, but it's probably better than a bad masseuse. And in my profession, I have to stand in rather odd positions for quite a long period of time, hours at a stretch. It does give me back and neck soreness after a long day at work. It's nice to kind of settle into one of these chairs and have the chair just sort of relax me. So that's why I decided to invest in one of these. When you have then ultimately made the decision that you want to get a chair, then there is a matter of budget. The top of the line chairs are all going to range probably in the $7,000 to $10,000 range. The list prices can be pretty high. It can be $12,000, $11,000, but usually you're going to be able to get some rebate or some sort of sale to cut that down a little bit. But again, don't expect to get a really, really high-end massage chair for anything less than about $7,000 to $8,000, tax and shipping, etc. Once you've kind of decided on that, now there are, by the way, other types of chairs that are cheaper and you can get it within your budget, but the best ones are the ones that give you the most realistic massage using both roller and airbag technology, which we'll get into a little bit later. Once you decide you want to get a chair, typically massage chairs then are going to be split into two general types. Now, one of the things to understand is that unlike a lot of other technologies, massage chairs, there's no such thing as a best massage chair because there's an intrinsic advantage and disadvantage with the different types. And you can't really get a massage chair that quote unquote has it all. So you do have to make some decisions, and you have to kind of ask yourself what type of massage you like, what you value, and then you get the chair that best meets your needs. Understand that at this level, these chairs are not just, again, simple chairs with rollers. They're basically sort of advanced pieces of robotic hardware with pretty complicated operating systems and microchips that are essentially running programs that are designed to give you very, very naturalistic massages. And the top brands all have that in common. The first thing to know then is the two major families of massage chairs. And by that, I mean we're talking about the track. So again, a massage chair is going to give you that massage by using rollers and by using airbags. The rollers are going to follow a track, okay? And you have either an L track or you have an S track, and there are pros and cons to both. The track is what the roller follows as it gives you the massage on the back. An L track, if you can see my right hand, looks like an L basically. And the reason it's an L is because it goes from the top of your head near your neck, and that track will go all the way down around the lower end of your spine, the coccyx bone, around your butt, down to the glutes into your upper thighs. So it covers everything, literally from the back of the head all the way down to the back of your thighs, and then the rollers from the calves or the calves take over from there, and then the feet. So those types of massage chairs are so-called L-track massage chairs, have anywhere from 50 to 60% more coverage, and it basically gets all of your body, all of your back, all the way to your feet, which is really nice if you want coverage and you like a roller massage technology. The disadvantage of an L-track is that because the track itself is an L shape, the other part of what a chair like this can do for you is it can do something called stretch, where it puts you all the way back in zero G mode or zero gravity mode, where your feet are above your heart, and it can actually grab your legs, grab your body, and then stretch you a little bit to decompress your spine. Because the L track is stuck in the shape of an L, because that's where the rollers are going, as you begin to move back, you can see that your legs are going to be stuck in a sitting position, and they can't really effectively grab the leg and really truly give you that stretch, okay? It can come kind of close, but L-track chairs cannot give you the great stretch because your legs are always going to be slightly bent, and that's a significant issue with L-tracks if you value the so-called spinal decompression or stretch modes of these massage chairs. Conversely, we have the S-track. The S is named because that's where the rollers again are, and it kind of follows the curvature of your spine, which is basically an S. These rollers go all the way down to the top of the glutes, top of the butt, but it does not go around and go underneath, nor does it get your upper thighs, because obviously the roller or the track stops there, okay? To make up for that deficiency, oftentimes they try to get these upper thighs, get the thighs and get the buttocks with airbag massage, which is okay, but is obviously different and cannot replace a good roller where the roller is actually pushing against you. So why would you get an S-track when you have so much less coverage, right? You are going to be missing, again, the lower buttocks, and the curve, and the upper thigh. Well, you get that because when you do it, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you after I talk about the Luraco, you choose the S-track because you don't have that L. You don't have that, my thumb here, you don't have that L. If you don't have the L, the chair is able to actually extend your legs. And if it can extend your legs and get your legs away from that sitting position, it can really give you a good stretch and a good spinal decompression. So you can have a good spinal decompression or a truly remarkable one in an L track, and you simply do not have the buttock and the upper thigh massage in an S track. They're essentially mutually incompatible. And that's why there's no best chair. You have to kind of decide which is more important to you. Now there is one caveat I have to mention, which is that a massager company called Infinity, which creates very, very high-end massage chairs. They have a lot of different brands. Infinity came out with a model called the Presidential, which is pretty interesting. It has what they call a J-track, where they try to essentially marry an S and an L, and it's purported to give you the best of both worlds. So what happens is, when it does the massage, it takes the short arm of the L and it angles it down, way down, so it looks almost like a J, okay? And you still feel the rollers along the butt and the upper thigh, but when it's time to do the stretch, it'll actually disarticulate the short arm of that J. It'll slant it down, it'll move it out of the way, and then it gets through the stretch. So it's supposed to sort of combine the best of both an S and an L. I did try it in person, and it does have the best stretch by far of any L-track massage chair, but it still does not quite approach the best stretch of the dedicated S-track. So again, if you want to kind of have the jack of all trades, master of none, then the Infinity Presidential is a very good chair. It does give you, kind of splits the difference and gives you a little bit of both. So that having been said, let's talk about the rollers. Modern massage chairs, the rollers that go along those tracks, whether it's going to be an L or an S, are called 3D rollers. The reason they're called 3D is because of the planes of movement. That roller can move left and right. It moves up and down, obviously, and it can also move in and out, pressing against your back. It also can do kneading motions and can go off plane in different angles. So these are very sophisticated, essentially robotic arms are what these rollers are, and they can push real hard. That's why they call it 3D, because of the different dimensions. You may run across 4 dimensions or 4D when you do your research online. That's more of a marketing gimmick. The 4th dimension comes in mainly with, I think, the different angles and the different sort of programs where it can twist and turn. But in reality, it's just basically 3D, okay, 3 planes. And those are the rollers that move along. There's also 2 types of rollers. There's quad rollers, and then there's the so-called double rollers. The quad rollers have 4 different rollers. The rollers are a little bit smaller, and they exert way more pressure. The double rollers are a little bit more spread out and a little bit more even. And the rollers can also shrink and widen to adjust to different people's back anatomy and that type of thing. So hopefully that's a pretty sort of short summary of some of the terminology of massage chairs and the major families, the S-track, the L-track. Now, the chairs also typically will come with various options. I think those are more like icing, like frosting. They'll have also the little gimmicks to sell them. There are things called chromotherapy, where the chair can shine this light and bathe the room in these different color lights. There's ones that give you oxygen next to your mouth, all of those type of things. But I think those are more gimmicky. I mean, really the core of what you want from a massage chair is the quality of the actual massage and how realistic it is. And because each company has different focus and different engineers programming it into the chips, and each program is different, it's kind of challenging to figure out what's best for you and so forth. So in general, all of the massage chairs, again, give you a massage through both roller technology, which gets you your back, your calves, and again, depending on whether it's an L or an S, around the butt, into the glutes area, the upper thigh, and then the airbags that squeeze you, immobilize you, and then that's what's used to kind of give you other types of massages and stretches. So we talked about the rollers already. Now let's talk about the airbags. The number 1 chair on the market in terms of number of airbags is the Inada Dreamwave from Japan. It's actually one of the first high-end massage chairs, and it's still, pretty good reputation even today. It's a little bit outstripped by the newer models, so it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, doesn't have a lot of options, but it has over 110 airbags. And these airbags are placed strategically, and the program that powers these airbags, that controls how they inflate and where they go, is so good you can even do a massage on a fingertip, apparently. So, Inada Dreamwave, highest number of airbags. Most chairs of this caliber in this class are going to give you 40, 60, 70 airbags. Not much less than 40 to 45 in my opinion. This chair, the Luraco iRobotics 7 Plus, has about 100 airbags, so second most number of all chairs on the market. By the end of the day, the number of airbags is not as important, obviously, as where they're deployed and how they're used and the programs that use them. So airbags, again, number of airbags, where they are, and then roller technology. This is how these chairs essentially give you the massage in combination, okay? Other important factors are heat. Almost all good massage chairs will give you lumbar heat. Some chairs actually have the roller itself, being ceramic, can actually heat the roller to mimic a hot stone massage. Okay, I mean, that's great. You're going to be sadly disappointed if you think a heated ceramic roller is going to approach a human being or a human masseuse with hot stones. It's a poor facsimile, but it tries to approach it better than nothing. Most chairs, unfortunately, the heat is not very, very good. It's warm at best, and it's only usually in the lumbar region, lower back. So look for heat. There should be some attempt, at least, to have that, okay? Almost all massage chairs of this class also have automatic programs, usually anywhere from 5 to 9, where you press a program, it automatically goes and gives you that program, whether it's a sport massage, shiatsu, Swedish, soft, etc. You don't have to think, press a button, press the auto program, the program runs you through the massage. So there's auto. Then there's manual, where you can actually begin to pinpoint exactly what part of the body you want this chair to focus on. You put on intensity, you can do that as well. So all chairs are going to have automatic programs and then manual programs. And each chair has a different philosophy about to deliver that to you. For instance, the Novo Human Touch XT2 has over 30 automatic programs at the expense of the manual, which means that from their point of view, you should be able to find, out of the 34, and they're going to be sub-branches, you're going to be able to find an auto program that fits you, and you don't have to tinker too much. Just choose an auto program and go with it. Other chairs, like the Luraco, for instance, gives you a more limited number of automatic programs, but has a much higher customizability when it comes to the manual massage mode. And then finally, one mode that's really important is that of memory. When you sit in the chair, obviously chairs are trying to accommodate a lot of different body sizes, body heights. My wife, for instance, is about 5'1". I'm close to 5'8". There are people out there obviously 6'5", 6'7". So the chair basically addresses this problem by scanning your body. By scan, I don't mean like a laser scan. This is not science fiction or anything like that. All you do is you lie in the chair, it tilts you back into 0G mode, and it basically feels your body using the rollers, using the airbags, using the foot rollers. The chair basically feels your body out, and then based on what it feels, it'll adjust for your height. So it would be nice to have a chair where you have a remote control where the chair remembers, and you can save those settings. So in the future, you don't have to re-enter in all the different settings for the manual mode and for the scanning mode. You would think this should be routine standard feature in every single massage chair or high-end massage chair, but you will see that that is not the case. Even though these are very, very complicated robotics, they lag, of course, very far behind for home theater systems, TVs, etc. They don't have memories. A lot of them don't. Only very, very high-end massage chairs, even in that class 1 or 2 or 3, maybe have that. So that's also something to consider, okay? So having said all of that, you can read all the reviews, you can see this YouTube review, but of course, watching a YouTube review and reading a review on the internet is not going to actually take the place of sitting in the chair and feeling what the chair does for you. And so to that end, it would be very, very useful for you to be able to go and actually try out some of these chairs. And that's very tricky because buying one of these things isn't exactly buying a car or something like that, or buying a TV or a washer and dryer. There's not that many places that sell high-end massage chairs of a wide enough variety for you to be able to just sit down and take it for a spin, so to speak. Brookstone, I think, used to have the Inada Dreamwave, but even then, Brookstone did not have the widest selection. So you have to sort of look locally and see if you can find a local store that you can walk into and try things out. And this is going to be a time-consuming process because unlike a bed, where you can walk into a brick-and-mortar store and basically jump and sleep on 20 beds or 10 beds and really get an idea with how soft or how firm these beds are, a massager is trying to massage you, and you're trying to figure out how that massage feels. Well, guess what? You go in a chair for 10, 15 minutes, you go into another chair for 10, 15 minutes. You keep doing that, you're going to be all massaged out. There's only so much your body or muscles can take. You can't get 3 hours of massages or 2 hours of massages and be able to differentiate between the type of massage, how hard one is. Your muscles are just going to be giving out. And so this type of thing typically has to be done over many weeks because, unless you have no job, you're not going to be going every day to try this stuff out. You have to spread it out. And so it's tough, to get that feel. So hopefully watching this video, it'll narrow this down for some of you so you don't have to waste a lot of time, with chairs that you're not going to buy. So I was fortunate enough that near where I live, in the city of Cerritos, there's a store called Massage Chair Relief. It's owned by Dr. Alan Widener. He's a retired chiropractor. He has a store in Utah and one, again, in Cerritos. And they have a very, very wide range of very, very high-end massage chairs. I think the cheapest that they have is like maybe $4,000, $3,000, and it goes on up from there. So really nice selection. A guy named Michael Nguyen, who is the sales associate at the Cerritos location, helped me and my family, who was very, very good, not pushy, very knowledgeable, very friendly. And so I wanted to give him a shout out just because he really went above and beyond, spent quite a few hours teaching us about, again, the terminology, what to think about And his advice was kind of what led us to get this Luraco. So if you have a chance, I think you should go to a store like Massage Chair Relief, and if you happen to be in the area, definitely keep them in mind. They give a very, very good service, a very, very good warranty, which I'll get into a little bit later. Okay, so that's a lot of talk, a lot of preamble about massage chair technology, what to look for, what to think about. So what are the big brands out there? The Inada Dreamwave, I already talked about. One of the first, the granddaddy. Airbags, really, really good. S-Track chair. The Luraco iRobotics. These guys, this is the only chair made in the United States. Since I bought it, I'll get into more of its specifics later on when I do the review. That's the second brand, one of the best. Probably up there, with maybe top 1, top 2. So, Inada Dreamwave, the Luraco iRobotics 7 Plus. Then you have Infinity. Understand, Inada made in Japan. Luraco essentially made in Arlington, Texas, United States. All the programming, all the chips, all the supplies, all the parts, some non-essentials from Taiwan, but everything else, United States, and then it's assembled in the United States, all quality control in the United States. With the exception of the Inada and the Luraco, almost all other massage chairs are put together in China, in the Rong Tai factory, which has been around for decades, makes very, very good massage chairs, a lot of experience, but they are made in China. And supposedly there is a little bit of difference in sturdiness. I think the Japanese and the Luraco, which is the only chair made in America, has failure rates less than 1%. You can expect 10 to 15 years should be expected. And the other chairs, maybe failure rates 5%, 3 to 5% perhaps, a little bit higher, okay? Again, not to say that the Rong Tai factory makes bad chairs, they're still world class, but if you want to grade a little bit more finely, then there is a bit of separation. Even though it's very small, there's a bit of separation quality between the Luraco in the United States and the Inada and others in Japan. So Infinity is a company that makes a wide range of massage chairs. They're the ones that make the presidential, which is what I talked about earlier. Their top of the line is the Imperial massage chair. They make very, very good chairs. The thing about them is that they have a lot of different brands. It can get a little bit confusing. They got Presidential, Evolution, Overture, Genesis, Presidential. It goes on and on. Certain chairs are specific to certain companies or stores, like for instance, Costco. So that's another chair to consider. They have a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of different programs. They make some of the best L-track chairs in the market. And if you were to go for an L-track chair, I think an Infinity, top of the line Infinity chair like an Imperial should be something you can think about. So Infinity chair is also very good. I believe they also have a failure rate in the 1 to 2% range, pretty good. After that, you have the Osaki, both the Econ and the Maestro. The Maestro is a little bit more recent. These are all $9,000 massage chairs. I believe the Econ has recently been on clearance for $6,000 because it's being replaced, I think, by the Maestro. Again, those are L-track chairs. And then moving past that, if you want to look at S-track, you do have the Infinity 8500. They also have the Infinity Smart X3s. These are more S-tracks, again, that give you very hard stretches. They're a little bit cheaper. So again, something that can be considered. But in terms of the high end, in the, say, $9,000 range, you're looking at Luraco, Inada, the Infinity series. And then there's the Novo Human Touch XT2, which is based out of Long Beach. It's made in China, but the company is based out of Long Beach. And that's also considered a pretty high-end chair. Though that's the one with the multiple programs. It's a little bit smaller, a lot sleeker. Definitely has wall hugging capability because the chair rotates. And so you can put it literally 2 inches away from the wall, no problems clearing it. So these are the major chairs, okay, that are out there that I tried. So again, Inada, Luraco, Human Touch, the Infinity brands, and then the Osaki brands. In my opinion, those are the ones you want to take a look at. So that being said, what led me to buy the Luraco? Interestingly enough, when I first went into it after doing all of the research, I was actually had my heart set on one of the one of the Infinity brands. maybe for instance their Imperial, which is the top of the line, which has every bell and whistle. That's what I was thinking. I was also thinking about maybe going to Costco, because Costco had a relationship with the Human Touch, and they were selling their latest top of the line XT2 for about $7,000, which is over $1,500 off the list price. There's also a roadshow with the Infinity Evolution, which is a chair made by Infinity specifically for Costco. That's list price is in the $9,000-$10,000 range, and selling for $6,500-$6,700, which is a very, very big savings. So I was thinking about L-Track mainly because of the coverage, the rollers, and all of that. But once I walked into the store and began to actually try out the different chairs, that's when the Luraco really began to essentially make its case for me. The first chair that I sat in was the Osaki Econ. This is a deep tissue massage chair, which means that the rollers are hard. On the lightest setting, 1 out of 5, it still kind of really gave my muscles a workout. You sit in there and that chair just basically squeezes you, and before you know it, the rollers are attacking you. The back, the lower back, the butt, everything just squeezing, rolling. So it's pretty intense. But it felt great, you know, but again, definitely deep tissue specialization for that type of chair. The Maestro, its newer brother, also pretty hard, but a little bit gentler, okay? My wife did the Maestro first, and she liked it, except that the hip massage, she said, would just squeeze her so tight. You know, she's not huge. I mean, she's 5'1". She said that hip squeezed so tight, and she thought that it was going to break her hip. So that's a lot of power. And so based on that, we felt that the Osakis maybe were a little bit too strong, you know, for us, a little bit too intense. You want to have a little bit more variety and range. So that was the Osaki. That was an impression of the Osaki. But both the Econ and the Maestro are very, very popular, and the Maestro is one of the hottest sellers in 2018, looking like going into 2019. It has a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of different programs, gives very, very good massages in the calves and the back and that type of thing. The Inada Dreamwave I never considered, because while I had the most airbags, I don't want to just be squeezed, okay? I want the roller part as well, and it was just, in my opinion, a little bit too old-fashioned, where, in my opinion, Inada had been resting on Sudoro's for well over 15 years, and really hadn't updated its chair to meet the competition. I did try the Infinity Presidential. I liked it very much. And I tried the Infinity, also the 8500. I thought the Infinity 8500 was my first exposure to an S-Track, which really opened my eyes, because again, in my field of work, which is in surgery, I do have to stand for long periods of time, again, often in very, very kind of uncomfortable positions, depending on what I'm doing. And so I really value the spinal decompression, where you really feel like you're stretching out, and nothing can beat an S-Track when it comes to stretching. So I really love the Infinity 8500 stretch, although it was a little bit rough for me. It just grabs you and just stretches. There's not a lot of subtlety to it. And then finally, I moved to the Luraco. I thought, by the way, that the Human Touch was quite nice. A very, very nice arm and hand and shoulder massage. The problem with the Human Touch, though, is that my wife sat in it and she couldn't really fit in it. The Human Touch says it can accommodate, 5 feet. But at the lower end, it was really difficult. I mean, her feet were barely touching the wells. It was a hard thing to do. And the stretch mode, in my opinion, was so-so. Again, a limitation of all L-Tracks. None of the L-Tracks, from the Osaki to the Human Touch, could do a very good stretch that could even approach the 8500. The Infinity Presidential came close. Much better stretch, but still not as good as the dedicated S-Track. And then I got to the Luraco, and the Luraco is another S-Track. And again, ultimately, after trying all the different chairs over the course of a couple weeks, I decided to buy the Luraco for the following reasons. And this is going now into the review of the Luraco. So number one, it's one of the best quality massage chairs on the market. Every component made in the United States, which again, depending on what we're talking about, might not be so good, right? In terms of cars, for instance, made in the United States doesn't have as much cachet as, say, made in Germany or Japan, etc., when you think about reliability and stuff like that. But for massage chairs, this is not just made by an American car company or whatever. This is made by an American, basically aeronautics, military company, engineering company. So very, very good, very sturdy. It's the only massage chair on the market that has genuine leather on all of the parts that touch your body. So your back, your hands, your feet, that's all genuine leather, which is a nice touch. All the other chairs have faux leather or faux leather. The Luraco is not 100% leather all around. On the outside, it is also faux or faux leather, but at least where you're touching it on the inside, it's all genuine leather. It's the only chair that has that. It has the best heat of any chair in the market. Your feet, your buttocks region, your lower thigh, your arm area, it all heats up, and it heats up real hot. The settings from 1 to 5. By 4, you're definitely feeling significant heat. By 5, it's burning. And even 3, you can feel the heat. It's head and shoulders miles ahead of the heat of any other chair on the market. The closest one behind the Luraco, in my opinion, is the Infinity Presidential, which got warm, but again, does not approach how hot this chair gets. And that's nice because the heat definitely loosens the muscles and it helps you a great deal. Do not discount the importance of heat in, again, massages. So we got all of that. In addition to that, it has one of the best stretches of any chair. It's very gentle, but firm, powerful. It gives you as good a stretch as the Infinity 8500, but it's more refined. It feels a little bit nicer. It doesn't just grab you or stretch you. It feels, again, like you're in good hands. So the stretch is very important to me, and this chair has one of the best stretches of any chair on the marketplace. And then finally, in addition to all of that, it has a very intuitive remote. So this remote control here is patterned after a iPod or iPhone. It's touch screen. It's laid out very intuitively. The company's in America, so all the instructions are in English. You may think this is not a big deal, but it is. A lot of the other chairs, again, Japanese, Chinese, their remote controls are not the most intuitive. It takes a while to go in there and figure things out. This remote control, very intuitive. I think Infinity has closed the gap significantly because you're able to actually download an app onto your phone that controls the chair. So that's very nice. And perhaps in the future, in later iterations, Luraco will follow suit. It doesn't seem to be too complicated to do that. But for a lot of chairs, trying to use all of the things that this chair has to offer is very important. It's a big deal. And one gentleman who was in the store when I was there was thinking about kind of exchanging or returning his Osaki because he said the remote control was pretty dense, pretty difficult for him to try to get what he wants out of it. Also, this chair gives you 5 memory settings. So if you have more than one family member who wants to use it, you can save 5 different body scans, 5 different manual settings. It's the only chair on the market with 5 settings. Even the best of the best, like an Infinity Evolution or Overture, only have 2 settings. This one has 5. Most other chairs, high-end ones, like for instance the Human Touch Nova XT2 has none. And one of the reviews of that chair, the guy said, "Hey, this chair is one of the best massages I've ever had. Really hard, really strong, because it takes me 3, 4, 5 minutes to get the same thing every time. I have to basically press 8 buttons, down 3 trees to get what I want." So, here I'm going to show this to you later on. Very intuitive, very nice, very easy. Do not discount that. Also, one of the old criticisms of the Luraco iRobotics 7, which is the model right before this is the 7 Plus, is that it didn't have a Bluetooth. You had to download a SD card with your music, which is ridiculous. Who does that? It's just a joke. If you want to listen to music, no one is going to download music onto an SD card, put the SD card into the chair, and then listen to the music. That's stupid. So I'm glad that for the Plus version, they did basically introduce Bluetooth connectivity. It's a very simple thing. So now you can connect, obviously, your iPhone or your Android or your iPod with the music to the chair through Bluetooth connectivity, and you can listen to the speakers. The speakers aren't the best in the world, but they're very good. They're 10 watt. They more than serve their purpose for what it is. So for all of that, those are the reasons I chose the Luraco. Now, in terms of the cons, what is it about it that's not as good? It's a very powerful chair. It's one of the best in the market, so there's not much cons against it. It's pricey. It's going to be in the neighborhood of $9,000 to $10,000, depending on where you shop. But you get what you pay for. You're going to get 5-year warranty parts, and then I bought it from Massage Chair Relief. They give you a lifetime labor warranty, so warranty definitely is a plus. Michael from Massage Chair Relief kind of very succinctly gave the 3 main cons against this chair. It's too big, too slow, too hard. Too big, too slow, too hard. That's it. There's nothing else bad, really, that you can criticize this chair for. And having used it for a couple weeks, I can definitely see where those criticisms come from. So first of all, because it's an S chair, it's an S-track chair. Remember, what makes an S-track great? It stretches you. Stretches your spine out, straightens that leg a little bit, and just really bends you. That's what makes it great, part of what makes it great. But if you want that, you have to understand, it's not wall-saving capability. There's no wall saving. For an L-track, you can curve along the base, and you have wall-saving technology. We can put the chair literally 1-2 inches from the wall, and it'll just slide away from it as it does its business. But part of what an S-track does is it has to stretch you out, and it cannot stretch you and also wall save at the same time. So understand it's a very, very big chair. It's one of the bigger chairs out there. You have to have, I would say, 18 inches clearance in the back to let it slide all the way back. You're going to see that when I start this program. So too big, that's why. It is a very, very big chair, about 300 pounds. Too slow. One of the things about how this chair works is it does a very methodical massage. This is in comparison, for instance, to the Infinity Presidential and the Osaki Econ. We go in there and all the rollers just basically are hitting you almost simultaneously. It's very busy. This chair is more slow, takes its time, more luxurious. It's trying to mimic what a human masseuse at a spa would do. And so that's just the style. I'm very comfortable with that. Other people might like it a little bit, harder, more brisk. It's trying to mimic a human masseuse. Other chairs are doing things that no human being could ever approach or do. So you have to ask yourself whether you're okay with, again, that type of methodology. It's a personal preference. And then finally, too hard. It is one of the harder massage chairs on the market, meaning that the rollers dig deep. You will feel it in your muscles. Is it as hard as the Econ, which is a deep tissue? It can be. Luckily, its baseline is not as bad. You would have to set it to a very high setting, and you have to choose the shiatsu auto program for this chair to approach, I think, an Osaki Econ. But it's definitely capable of getting there in terms of force and even pain as it begins to press you and give you that hard massage. But for some people, they're just not used to that. In the Luraco's defense, you have a lot of customization, customizability, so to speak. You can customize the neck, mid, lower back, the arms, the feet, and the legs. So there's 6 separate sections. You can change the intensity of each section from 1 all the way to, I believe, 1 to 5. And so it does give you that. The problem is that even on soft massage mode, at minimum intensity, it could be too much for some people. For instance, my dad, who's in the neighborhood of 76 years old, 75, 76, he couldn't even take the scanning where the rollers were scanning the body. He thought it was too hard. And my mom, who's 78, gets in there, and she's like, she could take it. She likes the heat, but she was a little bit uncomfortable again with the rollers. So again, that's something you have to kind of take into account for this chair. Too hard. Okay. I'm going to add a few other things about it. Number one, it would be nice if this remote control had a little bit more slack. When you're actually in the chair, you're trying to handle it with one hand, and it just feels like it's a little bit challenging to get it kind of where you want it. It's kind of stuck or tethered here, so it would be nice to have a little bit more slack. Another thing about this chair is that the minute you sit and start it, it automatically goes in a body scanning mode. You can't stop it. It leans you back, it begins scanning you. The only way to bypass it is if you've already gone through the body scanning and then you save the settings. So when you press the on button, you immediately go to your settings, you open it, and then you open the saved one, then it'll bypass the body scan. Which kind of sucks because it would be nice to turn the chair on, seated, kind of think about what sort of massage you want, and then kind of, at your leisure, press a button. Here, You either go right into body scan, and after the body scan, it doesn't stop. It doesn't put you back in the sitting position. It immediately goes into the so-called health auto program, which is the Luraco's default program. And then if you bypass the body scan by loading your settings, it again immediately goes into the health auto program. You have to pause it, or you have to immediately switch to another program to get around it. So I do find that a little bit annoying. It would have been nice, if we had a body scan button or something where you get in, you turn it on, and it doesn't automatically just start ramping you in. It's a very odd decision that other chairs, I don't think, share in that. I'm not sure why Luraco did that, but maybe for, again, another version, the i8 or 9 or something, they can take that feedback into consideration. The first version of this chair is the i7. This is the i7 Plus, kind of like an iPhone 8, iPhone 8s. So this is like the Plus is that made a few changes, but nothing gigantically different. So maybe for the next iteration, they can take that into account. Don't be so busy. You sit there all of a sudden, before you even know, you turn it on, and before you know what you're doing, it's already going to body scan mode. So that's kind of my additional small nitpicks. Overall, the chair is magnificent. I've used it for a little bit. It really makes a difference. I have to say my favorite mode is the stretch mode, which I'm going to show you in a minute or two. But all of the modes are nice. I've been experimenting. It's got a quick mode, it's almost a demo mode. It's got the health mode, which is its default. It's got a morning one for waking you up, a night one for kind of gently relaxing you, putting you to sleep. It's got shiatsu. It's got a soft massage. It's more gentle. I think also known as Swedish, for instance. And then, of course, the famous stretch mode. I basically bought this chair because of the stretch mode. I bought it over the Infinity models. I bought this S-Track because of this heat and stretch in combination. And it really does work, when you had a hard day and your muscles are a little bit tight, it just really decompresses. You're very, very refreshed. You can go from 5 minutes all the way to 30 minutes. I have it set at 15. The default's 20. I get down to 15. You might think that you want a massage for 3 hours or whatever, but trust me, not really. After about 15, 20 minutes, at least for me, my muscles are loose enough. I feel good enough. I want to stop. Any more would be a little bit excessive, in my opinion. So beyond the little tiny nitpicks, this is a great chair. I absolutely can see it being one of the best on the market. If not number one, then definitely top 3, no matter how you cut it. And if you do your research on the internet, you'll find that. Obviously, different review sites have different agendas. Some of them may be biased, some of them not. Some of them have kickbacks from various companies. But you will rarely find any list or any review of the top 3 or top 5 chairs on the market that does not have a Luraco. It'll be number 1 in some, number 3 in others, number 2, number 4. Most of the time, 2 or 1 or 3. But this chair will consistently pop up on lists of best massage chairs out there. So again, something to think about. I just said there is no one answer because there's so many different things that you may want. Everyone's a little bit different. But if you want that good stretch and you're willing to give up a little bit of the coverage of the, again, buttocks and upper thighs, there's no better chair in my opinion than this when you think about all the different options there, okay? Now, you can't get around the fact is the Infinity and the Econ and the Maestro, those are the L-Tracks. You do get a much better butt massage, much better upper thigh massage. There's no getting around that. But you have to give up something to get something. And for me at least, I was willing to give up the extra roller coverage for that unbelievable stretch. So, since we're on that subject, let's start. We are going to turn it on. I have a password encrypted so that...
Hello. Please sit back and relax. Please wait until body scanning is complete. Please lay your head and shoulder all the way back for accurate body detection. Body scanning is complete. Stretching mode activated.
So a few things. Number 1, as you can see, the chair has a very nice voice option, very loud, and it tells you exactly what it's doing. I bypassed the body scan because I just loaded my previously scanned information. I had previously put this on a code so my kids don't accidentally open it up or turn it on. I had disabled it during the reboot, so I'm going to re-enable it a little bit later on. So normally I have to put in your passcode, and then when you do that, it begins body scanning immediately. So I bypassed it and put it on stretch mode. You can see it immediately puts me into 0G, and then it's grabbing my legs. This is the first cycle. It's using airbags to compress. You can feel a little bit of massage on the back, and then it's just pulling my feet right here. There it goes. The heat is slowly starting to turn on. It's not automatic. You do have to wait a few minutes for the heat to ramp up. But if the next person after you puts it on, it'll be very, very hot already. So it'll be all kind of ready to go for the next cycle. So I do have it on 15 minutes. So I can feel the rollers on my back right now. And you can hear the airbags deploying. Another thing about the Luraco, it is the quietest massage chair ever made, by far. It is something really important to the company. They actually test the sound in like this large soundproof area where they actually see and measure how loud the chair is. And so other chairs are quite loud. This one is one of the quietest, whisper soft. So it's also very nice. A nice bonus. You're seeing it stretch me right now. That's how it looks when it stretches. You can definitely feel that. I have it set on 15 minutes, and it's going to go through various cycles of the stretch and the back rollers as it goes through. So the stretch mode utilizes the most airbag compression of all of the different modes. It has some rollers, but not a whole lot. It's getting my upper shoulders right now. Again, using the airbags to press. It's rolling the back of my calves, the rollers there. The heat is starting to now, I can begin to feel the heat already in the feet. Now, one thing about the body scanning, I'm resting my head and my neck on a cushion. For the most accurate body scan, I did it without the cushion. So they can really feel, the rollers can really feel the back of your neck as well as your scalp. If you want a real strong upper back and neck massage, you can take the roller off. Another minor criticism is that there is no in between. With the cushion on, what you're feeling is pretty soft. You know, you don't really feel it very much. You can kind of barely feel the motions underneath the cushion of the head and the neck. But if you take that cushion off, the rollers are right up against your neck, right up against the back of your head, and it's really, really hard to get used to. I mean, it's tough. It's a very, very strong massage. So there's no real middle ground between with the cushion and without the cushion. So right now, I'm not in 0G mode, not in zero gravity mode, and it's just kind of doing a very, very nice roller of my feet. It's also moving my hips left to right. It's of this little rocking motion, using airbags again to manipulate my body. Hopefully you can kind of hear it moving back and forth. Very nice. Now, what is the proper clothing for a massage chair, the kind of best results? You can just come in off the street like I did, when I went to the company, when I went to the store, and you just put on your socks, with socks on, you can have regular pants, shirt, etc. Now, obviously, the more clothes you wear, the more you will blunt the heat effect and the actual rollers. But even with that, you're going to feel it, because this chair is so strong when it comes to the roller technology. I think that probably the best clothes is something similar to what I'm wearing now, which is pajamas, maybe a t-shirt. I think that socks are very important. If you go in there with just your bare feet, because remember, you will heat this chair up. There's a heat function. And so you can sweat a little bit, especially in the feet area, and you don't really want to have sweaty feet against the leather. I think that can damage the leather over time. And it also just doesn't feel quite as good. I've done it without my socks, and it can feel a little bit sticky again with your feet against the leather. So in my opinion, the best feeling is with the socks on. It'll have a little bit of buffer between your feet and the rollers, and it just feels a little bit better. Also just gives you a little bit more buffer against the strength again of the foot massage rollers there. It's giving me a very, very hard arm and hand massage now with airbags. At this point, like I already definitely feel the heat in the lower back. It's already at goal basically. So as you can see, it's beginning to put me back into 0G, and that means it's about to stretch me again. So how it stretches is it uses airbags to secure your upper body or hips to immobilize them, and then it inflates the airbags around your legs and your feet, and then it basically bends downward until you can really feel it. And understand this is impossible to do with an L track because you're fixed on that track. Only an S can do this. And then at that point, you'll grab your feet and pull a little bit more so you can really feel that stretch. And it holds it for a few seconds. It feels pretty good, and then relaxes you. Very nice. If you wish, you can also, again, use Bluetooth to listen to your twisted music, which is fine. Understand that, of course, if you use Bluetooth, then the voice portion of the chair is going to be turned off. Which, you know, if you used it for quite a while, is not critical, but it's kind of nice because the voice tells you what the chair's doing. It tells you where it's scanning your body. It tells you you're entering into stretch mode. It tells you when you're done. So it's kind of nice. The voice has English as default, different volumes, and has, I think, 6 or 7 languages: German, French, Spanish, Vietnamese, Korean, etc. Really good stretch here again. This is maximum stretch, what it has me in right now. So that's outstanding. And again, this is 15 minutes. Very, very methodical. You can feel each move of the chair as it goes from one roller to the next. So again, I appreciate that. I appreciate its slow, measured pace. Other people may want a little bit faster massage. So it's getting very, very hot now. I have a set of 4 out of 5 in terms of the heat. So it's doing some shoulder work. Nothing too fancy. It's like kneading the shoulders. So it's going through the kneading. So it doesn't do percussion for the stretch mode. Doesn't roll up and down very often. Mainly just sort of squeezes the muscles of the back and the paraspinal area. And it just needs you once in a while between stretches. So again, giving a little bit of a break. Now it's doing the feet. And right now, it's really hot. I can really feel it. The chair also comes with a blanket. You can either put the blanket over the chair and lie on it, so that the blanket acts as a little bit of a cushion, again, between you and the rollers, if the rollers are too strong. Or, you know, if you want to be a little bit cozier, you can just put the blanket over yourself. But again, with the heat out of 4, you're going to sweat a little bit actually, so it's unlikely you're going to actually require the blanket over you. I don't use it myself because I can take the massage and I don't feel extra cold, but it's kind of a nice touch. There are 9 auto programs that you can go directly to. There's the health program, which is its default mode. There's the soft or Swedish, which is the gentlest massage. There is a shiatsu, which is a very hard, deep tissue type massage. There is the quick mode, which is just like a 10-minute, almost like demo mode. There is a morning one to kind of get you up, get your body ready for the day. There's a night one that's supposed to help you fall asleep a little bit better. So here goes right between the shoulder blades, and then the arm squeezing. So there's the morning, and there's the night, and then there's a sport mode for after intense exercise that really kind of loosens up. It stretches and it massages you, sort of like a nice all-purpose massage. And then there's the TV mode that puts you in a nice angle for watching TV and gives you a nice foot massage while you're at it. So those are all the different modes, and they are basically variations of, again, airbag and roller technology all put together. There's a really nice option for some people who like long massages, and sometimes it's so relaxing as they're getting the massage they fall asleep. And so there's actually a setting where if you check it, the chair does not return to its original setting. It actually turns off right then and there, and you have to actually manually turn it on, turn it back off again to get it back into its original reclining position. So you can actually fall asleep in the chair and then naturally wake up, which is a little bit crazy to me. As nice as this chair is, I don't think I ever fall asleep during a massage. This Luraco chair's massages are deep and hard enough that I don't think I ever really completely fall asleep, even during the gentle stretch mode, for instance. But it's, again, kind of an example of a rather clever innovation for it. Because for other chairs, when it's over, it does take you out, of the zero-G mode. And zero-G position, you'll wake up. And so this chair won't do that if you don't want it to. So stretching again. You can hear it. And that lasts a little bit. Wow. I already feel the stretch. When you see this position, it means I'm in maximum stretch. And again, that is a position that an L-track simply cannot give you. Unable to actually do it because of the design of that L shape. That's the price you pay for getting your butt massaged, is you can't get this nice stretch. So the airbags around the arms and the hips are slowly, gently inflating. Another stretch.
Please wait until chair comes to complete halt. Goodbye. Have a great day.
So that's the voice letting you know that the massage is over at 15 minutes. Remote automatically turns off. And the rollers actually slowly push you out of the chair. And then this goes into its pouch right here, and then you're done. So again, hopefully, this is a really, really long video, so thank you for those of you who are interested enough to go all the way through it. But again, I wanted to make it a multi-purpose video talking a lot about more educational, like talking about all of the different types of chair technologies, what goes into the decision-making process for buying one, some of the top brands out there, what makes each one specific, what makes each one good and bad, and then why I got this one myself and the pros and cons, and then kind of showing you the mode that makes it, in my opinion, the best chair, one of the best chairs on the market is the stretch mode. So hopefully that was interesting at least. You'll see videos on YouTube from Luraco. You'll see little snippets of videos from other users. But again, there's not many people with this type of thing in their homes. So hopefully, again, I gave you a pretty comprehensive video about this particular niche in home comfort and luxury. We're going to go back to more traditional statues and collectible reviews in the future. But again, this was a pretty special little thing. I've wanted one of these, by the way, for quite a while, but the timing was never right, and we didn't have the best layout for it, and a place in our house for it. So I finally got one, and I've been using it, and it's been very, very good. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video, and take care.